You're listening to End of the Reel.
Oh my god!
Hello, everyone. Star Wars, Ethan. Do you like Star Wars?
I like the original 3 Star Wars.
I like Star Wars too.
Oh, and Phantom Menace.
Ah, yes, the Phantom Menace.
The Gungans are funny.
Yeah, but the Phantom Menace kind of has that slow bit. But we watched, not the new Star Wars, we actually watched Starcrash. It is a film from 1988 off the top of my head. It came out a year after the original Star Wars was released.
In 1978.
Then I was off by a lot, wasn't I? Just then, so
Like
I
10
meant-
years. Yeah.
No, but it didn't come out the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I meant to say 1988. It came out. 78. It came out.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So it's Starcrash. It is a complete ripoff of Star Wars, but better.
Well, it's not a complete rip-off of Star Wars because Star Wars is good. So I don't know what they're copying.
You know what?
I don't know where the crazy Amazon plot came from.
Can I say it's
I think this is like, it's a cash-in of
It's a
Star
cash-in.
Wars and like those shitty old stop-motion films from the 50s.
So Star Wars is incredibly popular at the time, and these guys are cashing in on all the space hype. Let's say space hype.
Yeah.
Plus clear ripoffs of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they also were like, hey, what's everything sci-fi nerds like? Sci-fi nerds like babes in bikinis and Amazon warrior women.
Well, they sort of got that right.
They got that right. I mean, I think we needed more of them.
The Amazons.
Honestly,
Well, we needed some explanation as to what was happening.
tell me why the Amazons weren't the main enemy. Give me a reason why.
Why were they in the film at all?
Because they were one of the planets, just like the Neanderthal cavemen.
The troglodytes.
The troglodytes.
And the red monsters.
the giant booby mechanical monster.
The Guardian.
The Guardians.
No, that was just one. It was just a Guardian.
But there were multiple Guardians later.
No, they were the golems.
Oh.
They were his 2 golems. The effects in this movie are so bad. It's great.
This movie is like... It's like someone's Star Wars fan fiction, plus they added in a whole heap of other sci-fi fan fiction on, like, speed.
Yeah.
Like, someone has stayed... Like, imagine if someone stayed up for multiple nights in a row just doing speed, writing out a script for a sci-fi after watching Star Wars, like, 15 times in a row. That is this, because there's no break in the first 3/4 of the film.
The first 3/4 of the film actually reminded me of like the current Star Wars J.J. Abrams ones, you know, where there's like so much happening, it's sort of a blur,
Yeah.
sort of going on, like, and you don't stop to think about what's happening or else it won't make sense.
Come on. I even
And
gotta
it
say...
wasn't that bad.
I even gotta say...
The first 3/4 of this film
Oh, no. It's
were
terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it was terrible, but it wasn't horrifically bad.
It was really
It's
fun.
the last quarter where the movie goes downhill real fast.
Well, you know how you compared it to, like, J.J. Abrams, lots of action, lots of stuff happening. But
Yeah.
imagine that, like, sped up times 2. You know, and then just more stuff being
It's just
thrown
bouncing
in. Bouncing
from one set to another as
have-
things just happen.
We have, like, massive scene transitions from, like, them doing something in one place to suddenly
Well,
being
they're-
somewhere else completely
it-
resolved.
Really fast, it goes like, they're smugglers, they're captured, and they're prosecuted by a giant floating head. Then they're prisoners, then they've escaped, then they're in front of the Emperor, then they're on the first planet where they're attacked by Amazons. Quickly, they go to the second planet where they're frozen, then the third planet where they're attacked by giant red monsters, they keep calling them. I don't know what they were meant to look like, but they're just terrible red balls that are like put onto the screen. And then they find the prince and are attacked by troglodytes and they escape. And that's the first 3/4 of the film.
Yeah.
And it happens all so fast, one thing after the next. And then the film just stops.
Well, there's a lot
basically.
happening in those two that just jump to each other real quick. And we'll mean it. Like, they will be in prison, then she'll just do an escape, then she'll escape, and then suddenly she'll be at a ship, and the ship people will pick them up. And it'll be the same. This was crazy. The same people who put them away after their...
Well, that was Chief Thor. I think he was in charge of the police, the space police.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that the police were, like, breaking them out. They were like, no, we got you pardoned.
Yeah.
And it's like, they were just convicted the same before, then put in prison,
Then they have their big escape.
Then they have an escape followed, like, the escapes in a normal movie, it's still the escape happening, but they walk in and they go, you're actually pardoned. And I'm like, all those poor people just died. They have all
To
these
free
people
her.
die.
And that's actually a problem we'll talk about later with the main actress, or the main character,
She's
Stella
awesome, though.
Star. She
Caroline
is
something.
Her power is to get other people to do things,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
Because she bounces from one scenario to the other with everyone else doing everything for her.
I don't think that's her power. Her power is to wear a bikini in all situations.
And for men to, like, even male robots to lay down their lives for them.
They froth over her.
Yeah.
It's incredible. She can just, seriously, she is on an ice planet and she's wearing like clothes you would expect. Like it looks like it's ice planet space clothing. And then they say like, oh, it's getting colder, our power pack's gone. So she takes off her clothes. And then she goes, this is the craziest thing. This is crazy, okay? Then they go, oh no, we're going to be like frozen over. So someone says they're going to hold her. Anyway, she's frozen over. But when they I think when they
You mean when Acton brings her back to life?
Yeah, then she's in a bikini.
Yeah.
She was freezing in a bikini. Why would you get in a bikini
But
if you're going to get
she
frozen?
isn't the worst part of this film by a long
No, she's
stretch.
one of the best.
I think the worst part of the film,
it's
the worst character is Acton, because Acton destroys the film by being this
godlike
this
character.
godlike character who can literally has all the powers.
So, okay, let's get to boy, there's a lot. There is a lot. So we have Acton and Stella Star, okay? So Stella Star is meant to be...
They start off as smugglers.
Yeah, she's meant to be a well-known smuggler. And then Acton starts off as he's the navigator. Oh, she's also the pilot, sorry. So he's meant to be the navigator, right?
Mm.
And then they go,
The way
he's
he
the best
talks and, like,
navigator in
yeah.
the universe, right? And you're like, okay, that's one thing.
I was
But then
waiting
as
for
it
the
goes-
reveal to be that he's a robot or something and he can do all the navigation in his head, because that's how he talks.
Oh, no, he's an alien.
He walks around like he's some sort of alien. I
Well,
don't-
but he gets like, so first off, he's like the best navigator. But then after that, then we find out he has like force powers to like control electricity or something.
He has magical powers. Yeah, I thought it was like a hologram he's playing with, but then you
No,
find out,
it's
no,
magic.
he literally makes these terrible special effects float above his hands.
Then we find out he has other powers to like, he does something with his eyes. I
He
don't
can
know, just
appear to
other
be
force
dead.
powers.
Really easily. Oh, and he can see the future perfectly.
Yeah, he can see
sees
the future.
the future perfectly.
He can also bring people back to life, and he can also just disappear.
And he has a lightsaber. Yeah, well, that's what happens.
Oh yeah, he's got the lightsaber.
Just like the movie they're ripping off. Eventually, he's killed, but he doesn't die. He becomes one with the Force
Yeah.
and disappears.
So that's all of Acton's, like, he is the most overpowered character.
It's like the script has taken on like a person in the movie, because he's telling them what to do exactly. He's like, oh, you're gonna go down there and you're gonna fail, but I'll come down and rescue in a bit. It's like, why don't you just rescue them now? Why would they go out on the planet? He's just like, that's destiny, you go out on the planet, you get frozen.
Okay, he's bullshit though. He's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because his whole thing is he goes, oh yeah, I can see the future. They're like, well, why don't you ever tell us? And he's like, oh, that'd be breaking destiny, right? That'd be meddling with the timelines of breaking
But
destiny.
at the same time, he does,
he does it himself.
because otherwise the plot wouldn't work.
He does it in the same scene which he says that, because then it's like, okay, this is so
After they land on Hoth,
one of the guys is going
which
to
is
betray them.
the second ice planet,
Yeah.
they're betrayed by Chief Thor, who's this evil-looking bald dude.
Right.
He takes out Acton, but he can't start the ship because Acton,
Remove the ship.
he
thingy.
has the script, right? So he knows that the guy's going to betray him, and he changes the ship so it can't take off. And then he eventually defeats him with his space jujitsu
But
stuff.
if he said that he doesn't interfere with it, then it's removing a thing, knowing that he's gonna.
Because the script needed him to defeat the bad guy.
It's bullshit.
He has the script, right? Acton has the script, and it keeps telling people what's happening. He'll
Let's
just
be
dump
frank.
exposition
Acton's
everywhere.
character's bullshit.
He
Seeing
ruins
the
it.
future is bullshit.
Because anytime there's any tension or anything, he'll turn up and just save the day and be like, well, destiny told me this was going to happen.
He lets people die.
Yeah. He lets
horrible.
L be destroyed, and then later comes down after they almost die like 3 times.
But yeah, I gotta say though, like Stella Star, she's cool though. So at the very
But
start,
she doesn't do anything.
No,
like
she
she
does.
goes from place to place,
She
but
can
she's
wear that
constantly
bikini.
being saved
No,
by people.
She wears that bikini like no one else in the film. Mainly because there's like 3 other women in this film.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry.
No,
sorry.
there
wait,
are
wait.
other women. There are
wait.
plenty of other
Okay.
women.
There
The
are-
Amazons,
Okay,
Jared.
wait. There are basically only 3 other women in the film, except for the Amazon scene.
Yeah.
And apart,
Scene. That's the problem. That's
Yeah,
the problem
that's
with the
why I
first
keep
3
forgetting the
quarters.
Amazons
You
are
have
there.
you have a scene with the Amazons, then the Amazons are out of the movie. Then you have a scene on the Hoth planet, then the Hoth planet's out of the movie.
then you've seen on the other
Scene with the giant guardian statue's out of the movie. It bounces from place to place, and then the last like
one. Wait,
quarter of the film,
the
it
giant
just
guardian.
stops.
The giant guardian one was
Was
on the Amazon
after
planet.
the Amazons,
Yeah,
but
not-
while they're still on the Amazon planet.
Yeah. But it was very weird that they really did not have any like females in the universe apart from the Amazon one.
No,
didn't-
there's female
There's like
prisoners.
there's one prisoner,
Yeah,
and then I think there's one other person in the palace, and apart from that, you don't see women anywhere. And I was
Well,
like,
there aren't that many people in it
give us
except
more
like they're-
bikinis
because most of the people in this
I
movie
want
are
more
like
bikini
nameless henchmen.
I want more bikini babes. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So we start off and they're salvaging. They
I
find
don't know what they're
someone,
doing. They're smugglers apparently.
and they get caught by the
well,
police.
actually, the first scene of the movie isn't Stellar and Acton. It's
it doesn't matter.
No, because it
Okay.
sets up the whole movie, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, this is the stupid plot. There's an exploration ship heading towards this evil planet. They're attacked by evil red things, and 3 ships take off from it before it explodes. Or 4 ships take off from it. And they find one of the ships, Stellar and Acton, find one of the ships with a guy on it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how it starts off.
Yeah, but the point is though, the cops chase them, capture them straight away, and then they get a trial. Well, not really a trial. They get condemned,
Yeah.
and
But the
this is-
guy they rescued is taken away, I think.
yeah, he's someone with the royal people. But I liked the bit where they got condemned because it had this guy's head and it had like octopus background for him, tentacle head man. And I'm not sure if many people know this reference, but Mighty Boosh, there's a tentacle head octopus. I can't remember what his name is. But he goes, "This is an outrage.
It's an
It's an outrage." And
Yeah,
all
it's
I could-
basically just that guy.
it's that guy, and he looked awesome. But so he condemns them, and we're getting massive Dune feelings to it too. Then they're in prison, and this is hilarious. This is the first scene where she wears a bikini, and I'm thinking it is right. Or was she wearing one before?
She's wearing a bikini, but all the other prisoners are like dressed in big rags and stuff, including the women.
Yeah, but
But she's in this string bikini
Wait.
thing.
The funniest bit is we get this scene, and she comes up and she goes to them. And she goes, "Wow, it feels like my skin's being burnt off out here." And it zooms out, and she's in a bikini.
Yeah, and everyone else is wearing like protective clothes.
And then she just goes, "I really want to break out of here." And then someone comes over, and straight away she starts to break out, getting everyone else
Everyone else
killed.
dies, so she can just run out the back door.
Then she runs out. She runs into a cornfield. It's a cornfield.
Oh yeah.
She runs into a
She
cornfield.
runs through a cornfield. Yeah.
And then she just runs to just a spaceship that's just in the cornfield. And she goes up into it. And it's the police who just captured her 2 seconds ago. And they go, "Yeah, you're actually free. We need you to come find the people." And she goes, "Oh, what was the point of that?"
What was the point of the last 10 minutes
No,
of film?
I think she says, "Oh, I wish you'd gone." I think they actually say, "Oh, there was no point of the prison break because we're actually coming and get you because you're free."
There's dozens of people left dead and bloodied in this woman's wake.
I think you see about 5 guards who just got killed.
And
5
the other
innocent guards
prisoners.
and innocent prisoners who just got killed. And they go, "Huh!"
Yeah, so she and Acton are taken before the Emperor, and this is the first time the movie
Slows
stops.
down.
Anytime Christopher Plummer is making a speech as the Emperor, the movie just slows down to this.
Because he's slow.
Almost, he does these long, slow speeches. And the movie
Terrible.
because the rest of the movie happens at like this breakneck speed. It's so jarring. It's like hitting a giant speed bump all of a sudden.
Yeah.
They find out the exploration ship had his son on it, and they were trying to find the evil planet where the evil guy is.
This is when
Although
they're also
they know
told-
where the evil guy is because they find him later.
Yeah, this is also, I think, where they're told they're like, "Oh, you have to go."
This is a massive exposition.
There's
dump.
something weird that they say, and this is like 2 armies and guardians and something else.
So there's 2 factions, right? There's the Emperor and the inner circle of the universe.
Yes.
And then there's the evil. There's
Oh,
they're
I wrote
literally
it
called.
down. I wrote it down.
What
But
are they
no,
like?
keep going.
They're the evil
uh,
League of
the
Planets.
League of the Dark Worlds with the haunted stars.
Yeah, and it's literally guys dressed all in black with lightning bolts
They
on
were
their skull
nerds.
caps.
Let's talk
And it's
about
like
them.
at some point you've got to go. One of them has got to go. Are we the baddies?
They were nerds. They're nerds. They're cosplay enthusiasts. They're just nerds. Because if you see the baddies right, they are complete nerds. Because the ship's design has a pole which they all grab a hold and go down.
Oh, on the inside of the pole, yeah.
What are they, a
There's
fire pole?
fireman poles all throughout this evil ship for them to slide down.
All I could think of when I saw them, it wasn't that they're scary. It's that they're nerds.
It looked like the inside of their ship looked like an evil playground.
You know what? I mean, yeah, just copy Star Wars, which did, World War II German Nazi look.
Yeah, except they did it
Because
bad.
everyone knows
It
that
looked more like it was out of what's that good one? Where he's the football player and he goes and he defeats Ming the Merciless.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie. Flash.
Flash Gordon. It looked like they were rejects from Flash Gordon. Okay.
Yeah. I just didn't get why they don't just try and make, it's like, what was kind of scary? Okay, do the cliche kind of looking like German World War II sort of evil Nazis or something.
But here's the thing: is like
You know,
they
just
go
do
on
it
this
like that.
big quest to find Count Zahar and to defeat him, but they know where he is.
Yes.
They know where he is the whole time.
Yes.
I don't understand the whole point of the quest, but we get to see Zahar, and as he's doing his evil monologue, he calls forth his greatest warriors, the two golems, and the effects are so bad. It looks like someone's just holding these two little metal toys in front of the camera, and I think that's all it is.
Yeah, no, someone's just holding
Just
them up.
holding them up and like shaking them a little to make it look like they're moving. It is hilarious.
I wrote down at that point, actually I have it here. Oh my god, cute models.
They look adorable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they look like tiny little models that have like been put up against real people.
Yeah, so I think now they go to the Amazon planet.
Well, okay.
Wait, is this the Amazon planet?
No, this is where Acton starts to get really annoying, right? Because Thor, the robot L, which we haven't even talked about, he's this southern robot who's a real gentleman for some reason. So the gang head out and they're like, oh, we've got to find the other crashed ships for some reason. They're sort of looking for the sun. Well, that's why they go to the different planets, I think.
I did not get what was going on with that.
Just because it didn't make sense, because they didn't know what was going on.
Also, I just saw in my notes, the music that is constantly playing at multiple points throughout this movie is the out of Africa music.
Yeah.
And it
So
just
it's like
plays it.
it just does not fit the movie at all.
It doesn't fit. It's not a sci-fi.
So it's like for some reason Acton is like, oh, these three planets are the only three planets that could be where they're building the evil weapon. Because that's when they start talking about like, oh, there's an evil weapon that could destroy everything.
Now, when they go up to the Amazon planet too,
Yeah.
if I may say,
That's the first planet they go to is this
so
Amazon
the
planet.
first one they go to is the Amazon planet, and Acton says something which just it's clear that whoever they just wrote it in one go and didn't care, right?
Yeah.
And this is not for comedy effect. They did not do this for comedy effect, right? Acton, when he's talking about the Amazon planet, he says this planet is unknown. I think he says it's uninhabited, unknown, and unnamed. And then he says the name. Then he says it's
Whatever the name
it
is.
sounded
Yeah,
like
he
he
names
said
the planet.
Uranus. I know it's not, but then he says the name of it. It's like, dude, you just said it's unknown, unnamed, and like everything he says.
It was so
but
ridiculous.
he contradicts himself in the same sentence. Then they get down there, and the
And
weirdest
it's
thing
straight
with the
out of
Amazons,
Planet of the Apes.
well, they get down there, and some women on horseback are riding up. Now, this would have made okay. This kind of would have made sense if they were like tribal.
they were meant
period.
to, yeah. They'd this isn't the planet where the evil guy is on. So it's like, oh, they're just primitives or something.
Yeah, but then it turns out no, she's some sort of queen.
She's a queen who follows the evil count, and she's after revenge.
So they were wrong.
She wants her
on
revenge.
all of the accords: unknown, incorrect; uninhabited, incorrect; unnamed, incorrect.
But what was the revenge the queen was after?
I don't know because they captured L and Stella,
Stella.
right? And this beautiful beautiful women on horseback. They take her and they're bringing her in, and the queen is looking at her through a
Some sort of
whatever,
view
some sort
thing.
of viewing device. And then the queen, all you hear the queen goes, "I will get my revenge on him, right?"
Yeah, I don't know what is happening or who, and it doesn't matter because they're not in the film after
I
a couple
thought
minutes.
she was talking about Acton, right?
So yeah, Stella's taken down. They destroy L,
Well, that's the thing.
or they shoot L.
But this is so confusing because the Amazon women are just escorting her, and then she just runs out with a gun. Now, is it the queen who runs out? Because then later she's in a room somehow.
No, that's just some of the Amazon guards.
So she just says, "Get my revenge." One of them runs out while the
Shoots
other guys
Al.
and just shoots Al.
And then
So it wasn't the revenge on Stella; it's the revenge on Al. But
yeah, I
Al's
did
just
not-
a robot.
I don't know.
I don't
they
know
wanted
what
to kill
Al
the robot.
did.
So they drag Stella in front of the queen.
You know, there's a novel of this actually.
The queen briefly mentions that she follows Zah and he's gonna win, and then all of a sudden
Al
Elle
comes
just
back.
this is the thing. It's like Stella doesn't do anything. Like other people around her fight for her because
no,
Elle comes in
no,
and just
no.
blasts everybody
Nah, I'm gonna have
and
to
rescues
disagree.
Stella.
I'm gonna have to disagree. She's wearing a nice bikini, right? And
Yeah.
And to be fair, when she does do her fight scene,
This is a different bikini than before.
Oh,
This is
she
a
has-
space
she has a
bikini.
few space bikinis. She also has this really weird look, and it just reminded me of Zoolander with the quote that I'll say in a second. But she wears like plastic bags over the top of a bikini in points, where like sort of see-through ones. But she's wearing the bikini underneath, and it reminds me of Zoolander, where he's like he could wear plastic bag. Oh no, was it? He could wear like plastic bags, bin bags, and it'd be so hot right now.
Oh, that's
He'd be so hot right now.
when Luke Owen or whatever his name
Yeah.
is doing it. Yeah.
But what I'm going to disagree with you on is that Stella actually is shown to be a capable fighter. Multiple points in this film.
Yeah, but she
I'm not
doesn't.
saying-
Because
she
she's
does.
always being overwhelmed
No.
and other people are saving her.
Okay, when the first Amazon comes out and shoots
Yeah.
Al, she beats up 5 of them before
But
more
she's
Amazon women come in.
overwhelmed and taken prisoner. Elle
yeah.
has to come and save her.
Yeah, because like 10 more Amazon women with weapons come in the room.
But she's constantly
not a
being
fucking-
captured.
Yeah, because she was outnumbered 10-1.
But that's all we
reasonable.
see in this
No,
film is her being captured and then saved.
what I'm disagreeing is that it's reasonable that she does put up. She's not just some like complete damsel in distress, but she actually does put
Oh
up
no,
a
she
fight.
tries.
Yeah.
But she's just not good at it.
She is good at it.
I mean, she's
She beat
good
up
at it.
5 of them.
But she's always getting captured.
yeah, she gets captured a lot.
Yeah.
yeah. But the odds. To be fair, let's be frank as
I'm
well.
not saying she's not good at it.
Yeah,
They
you said
build her up
she's-
to be this person, but she's constantly getting
She's
captured.
pretty good. She's pretty good. She does do a lot of killing. When what's his
Does
name
she?
comes Al. Yep. When Al comes to, she killed all the people in the prison.
Oh no! The prisoners killed each other.
No, she kills.
Oh yeah,
about
she shoots
4.
a couple of guards.
She really does
Yeah.
kill like 4 of those guards.
Oh, okay,
She
that's
also
like one of the few times she kills people.
She throws someone into the molten pit. It's terrible, really. She's
Yeah, especially since these guys are the good guys.
These
she's
are the
fighting
good guys.
the police. She's killing the police.
But she does kill a lot of people. I totally forgot what I was just gonna say about that.
Yeah, so as they're escaping, the queen sets the guardian after them.
Right.
Which
is
is
a giant.
They're the
Metal
worst
woman
looking
statue.
stop motion creatures you could imagine.
This was
They
okay.
look so bad. Oh, the models in this
But
movie
I
are
thought
really
they were,
cheap looking.
I thought they were running to something because it stops their path to. I thought they were.
They were just running back to their
Are
vehicle.
you sure?
Yeah,
I thought there was something that they were running to
No.
in the cave.
No,
Okay.
no.
Well, anyway, they're running and it throws its spear, and then I want like Al comes up and starts fighting it, while oh wait no, does she go to fight it? And
They
Elle
both sort of
moves the
just
thing.
cower around. Elle sorts of fights with it, but then Acton comes in with the ship
Oh,
and just
yeah,
blows
sorry.
it up because that's when Acton knew the script said that he should attack. So it was like, I knew to come now.
This is what I wanted to say. Okay, is that Acton is really the dog in this movie?
The dog. What do you mean?
Well, Acton should have told them, hey, when you go down there, you might be capped. You know, like she could have hit a gun or something.
No, but that would have been messing with destiny, Jared. The script said she didn't.
Because
So she
you know
didn't.
in Star Wars, let's compare to Star
So
Wars.
Acton is meant to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi sort of character,
Compared to Star Wars episode,
but he doesn't have anyone to teach. He doesn't
Episode
teach
4.
anybody anything.
yeah, episode 4, yeah. Now, Luke is an awesome character, but
Right.
he's not OP. Like, he fights well and kills people, but, like, they have to run away and do all this stuff. That's what would have been better in this if they, like, fight well, but they do have to run away from all the Amazon. They have, instead of being captured straight away.
Well, so if you're just looking at Acton as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Stella is meant to be the Luke character.
Yeah.
And Hasselhoff is the Princess Leia, right?
Princess Hasselhoff.
Okay, but the problem is they haven't actually reversed the characters
Okay.
because Acton as Obi-Wan doesn't teach Stella anything.
No, he just laughs
He
about everything.
teaches Hasselhoff because Hasselhoff is the one who's going to become the lightsaber wielding guy,
Yeah.
right?
I like the female planet, though. I like the Amazon woman.
Which lasts for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't enough
And then
Amazon
they go,
women
and then they land at the Hoth planet,
because
which has some
Acton
of
comes
the
out and blows
worst
up.
green screened sky I've ever seen.
Oh, that was so dope. I didn't get that. It was just a really quick...
It looks like that they've just got like clouds going on fast forward in the background. It was distractingly bad.
Also, once they fight the... This is one of those things where it just jumps instantly. Once they do fight that giant one...
It
or
just
the
jumps
ship,
to them landing on Hoth.
They just jump to be inside the ship and then they land on Hoth randomly.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy how that happens. So now we're on the
They
second
find
planet.
the crash. Yeah, the Hoth is the second possible planet for
Is this still-
something.
is this
I'm
the-
not sure what they're searching for at this point. I know that they're looking for the prince, but there's also this evil planet-destroying weapon which is hidden in a planet, but doesn't seem to be very dangerous at all.
Oh, this is the one where... Okay, so Thor turns against them.
As they're out in the snow, Thor turns against them.
Yeah. And he hits Acton over the head. Also, it seemed at this point that Acton had some sort of relationship with the ship. The ship was like talking to him, and
He
they were
is
sort
flirting
of
with the ship, and the ship has an open brain out in the center
Yeah.
of the console room, and he's like stroking it and shit.
I gotta say, he fucked that ship.
Oh yeah,
He did. There's
that's
definitely-
the energy that you're getting from the scenes with him in the ship.
He fucks the ship, and it's like Farscape. That it's a living entity,
Yeah,
right? So, Acton has definitely plowed that ship hard to go into hyperspace multiple times. But the point is, though, anyway, he gets knocked out by Thor. And I think, what did Stella and Elle even do on this planet? Did they just walk
Stella
around?
and Elle find the crash ship. Everyone's dead,
So
so they're heading back. And as they're heading back, because they talk about it that the planet is you can only be out there for a couple of hours.
Oh yeah,
and
then it drops thousands of degrees or some bullshit.
yeah, whenever it turns into night, it drops down to like nothing. So
Yeah, it can only drop.
she
to-
lies down, and Elle Elle saves her by putting into like a deep sleep
Yeah.
hypothermia thing.
Now this is the bit where she was wearing some clothes, but then
Later, as they're freezing, as they're,
Oh, yeah, so
they're waking her up, she's back in her bikini.
Acton just comes back and beats the shit out of Thor.
This is where we find out that Acton can see the future perfectly.
Yeah, so he gets him up, and this is where he de-Thors our Stella.
He uses some of his force powers to bring her back to life.
And of
Yeah.
course, when he de-Thors her, she's wearing a bikini again.
Yeah.
Which maybe she had hypothermia and she was in the final stages. and
Irrational undressing or whatever it is.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Irrational undressing, which I gotta say, movie, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
That's a pretty smart thing, movie.
So they kill Thor. They head to the third planet. That's when they get attacked by the super weapon, which they just sort of brush off. Like Elle falls down, Stella falls down, but Acton just like, it's not.
Oh,
it's nothing.
that's-
It's
okay,
nothing.
that was
it's
my
just
problem with
red
Acton.
dots floating in front of them.
My biggest problem with Acton is he never looks like shocked or scared. Well, I guess
Because he
it
can
makes
see the
sense.
future, and he's not affected by anything. It's like he's so overpowered. It's like the mind affecting abilities of everyone else just brushes over him.
Hey, did we mention that Al the robot has a southern accent and is
It
southern?
Is so
Did we
weird.
mention that? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
no.
Okay, sorry. He's like a southern cowboy for some reason, and it's not too over the top. Actually, it is over the top, but like they could have gone. They
Well,
could have made it a lot
Jared,
worse.
all robots speak with a southern accent.
Well, I think on this third planet is the important scene where
Well,
Al and
here's
No,
the
no, wait.
here's the bit I was confused by. Right, so are they looking? They're looking for the sun, yeah, but that's like
Uh-huh.
a secondary objective. They're looking for the major weapon,
yes,
right? But the
Yes.
weapon turns out to not be important at all.
it has unlimited power. Oh,
Yeah,
that's Star Wars.
It's meant to be
sorry.
like a Death Star type thing, but it turns out it is, But the bad guy doesn't care about it and isn't going to use it anyway because it's stuck on the planet. It's
Well,
a stupid weapon.
On the third planet, we get a really nice bit where Al and Stella are walking and they're talking about how they belong, like how they like each other. And she's like, a robot is the best friend that a woman can have.
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't help but think that she's actually using him as a metaphor for being a vibrator to her.
Might be.
And because it makes sense that because all the dudes have been pretty
Also,
terrible to her.
annoyingly, Acton stays on the ship because he knows he isn't meant to be in the script yet and is meant to come in later.
Oh, yeah, because what happens is cavemen, and when we're saying
Troglodytes. They're actually called troglodytes.
all right, but they are Neanderthal cavemen, right? 2001 Neanderthal cavemen with bone weapons come out, and of course they rip apart L.
Oh, doesn't
destroy
fly into the air to destroy L.
Acton could have warned them, but he didn't.
No, because he knew he couldn't, because if he had, they wouldn't have met up with the prince. So he can see the script. He knows what they have to do.
Well, she
Because he knows L gets put together later.
Yeah, she gets taken away, right? And this is so dumb. She gets taken away, and when they take her away, they don't just like hog tie her or put her onto like a long stick to carry her away. They find a giant, like, did you see it? It was like a giant metal girder,
yeah.
steel beams and everything, and they attach her to that. But that thing's bigger than her. You got to think about how like heavy that must be. That just doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you just carry her over your shoulder?
It looked more difficult than just like picking her up.
It was
Anyway,
ridiculous.
they've got her strapped up. I think they're going to eat her or something.
Yeah.
Which is when
Some dude with
the
a metal
prince
skull.
turns up.
Yeah, he's wearing this really cool metal helmet head. It kind of looks like Excalibur
And he does the bit
or Zardos.
out of Star Wars, you know, where Obi-Wan turns up and flashes his lightsaber around. He turns up, he shoots a laser around, and then he's like, basically, we got to go. They'll be back later once they're not scared anymore. It's straight out of Star Wars.
And then
It's
he
not
also says he's run out of energy on his helmet shooty laser thing, eye
Yeah.
killing thing. But then, don't worry, when they're getting overrun by them, Acton then turns up with his lightsaber.
because that's when the script said to turn up.
But Acton, you could have stopped this.
This is when Acton turns out, yeah, he's got a fully functional lightsaber, which actually looks kind of cool. I
Yeah.
didn't mind the design of the handle or
Because
whatever.
it looked like a saber.
It looked like an actual sword thing, but better than, you know,
Better than Star Wars.
yeah.
Better than Star Wars. Sorry, it looked like a saber. It was kind of cool.
That's when at this point, Acton is like, we better get this movie like moving along. So he basically just reads from the script. Okay, we're going here. This is where the secret entrance is. We go down, and here we are. We're in the center of the evil weapon.
So they talk to the Count. The Count says something spooky.
Well, the Count doesn't turn up. There's no one
Yeah, he
there
does.
when they get there first.
Oh, I
they
can't
get
remember what
into the
happens at that
center of
point.
this evil weapon, and is like,
Yeah.
yeah, here it is. We'll destroy it. But we got to wait here. Acton is literally telling them what to do. He's like, we'll wait here. The Count's going to turn up. Then we'll face him. I'll die, but you two are going to be fine.
So they fight. Well, the Count leaves. They get in a big fight. Acton brings
The
out
two
his
golems
laser
turn
sword.
up. Yeah.
And he fights the golems with his laser sword. Gets hit in his shoulder
With
just
one
a
of the
small
plastic
blast.
swords. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course David Hasselhoff picks up the weapon and destroys the other golem. Now, there is a very funny bit. It comes from Stella again. One of her lines is just really dumb. She's saying to Acton, she's saying, "No, Acton, you. It's like you can't die." I think she says, "You've never died before," and I'm like, "Yeah, we know."
He's never been dying before. He's just almost died. Of
But
course, he wasn't
I think
dying.
she's like,
all the script is really clumsy.
I just can't believe it. You've never died before. Yeah, no shit. Most people haven't. In actual fact, if they're living, it means they haven't died. If they're dead, that's the only time they have
Anyway.
died. That's just so dumb.
So
Who says that?
Acton becomes one with the Force and his body disappears.
Right.
And this is where, this is the
Should have
first three
finished
quarters
it.
of the film. This is where it slows down. Up until now, it's been pretty fast-paced and entertaining.
apparently the
and now it
Count's
just slows down.
Yeah, so the Count's
much.
planted mines everywhere over the planet, and it's going to blow up. He's actually tricked
Because
it.
they're not worried about the weapon anymore. The
They
weapon's
just
not.
wanted-
No one cares about the weapon.
They wanted the king to come to get the prince. It was actually a trap. Not that bad, but
I think it was a trap.
so the king comes down with all his men, and they go, "We gotta get out. We only have 40 seconds." And then he slowly says to them, "Oh, I wouldn't be king of something or other if I didn't have a few. What is it?
Tricks up my
a few
sleeve." Yeah, and then he's like, "Ship, stop time!" And his ship shoots this beam at the planet. He's like, oh, the beam will hold for 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's not enough
For
time.
3 minutes, all the molecules in the planet will be slowed down. And it's like, that's it. It's like the last 30 minutes is maybe 5 minutes of footage
Alright.
stretched out.
But
Just like insanely.
that's the thing. They get back to the ship, and that's when he goes, now we can attack the Count before he gets his forces because he believes I am dead. And like my
And it's like,
entire
yeah, they
ship's
know where
dead.
the Count is
But
already.
This drives me nuts at this point because this is where really he says we can attack the Count. We have all the men. The Count's got no chance, and we're gonna get them, and it's all done. Right? I legitimately was getting up to walk out of the room because I thought the movie had ended.
Yeah.
Bad news. 20 more minutes left,
Okay.
and this is where it's all shit.
So if you
Skip
do
the
watch
movie.
this film, you
Stop.
can fast forward through the upcoming bits because
I
as they're
say just
going
stop.
to
I
the
reckon just
evil
stop
guy's fortress, which is this giant space hand.
But the thing is, too, that's the bit that till then has been an enjoyable romp of a movie. Loved it. At this point onwards, it's kind of I agree.
It's
Either
painful to watch.
double the speed or
Like,
honestly stop.
Okay, so here's the part you can completely fast forward through. As they're coming towards it, he's like, launch the fighters. And they must have had just 3 models of different ships.
This is so annoying.
And they didn't want to, so they couldn't show like more than one ship at a scene. So it shows all their ships launching, right? One at a time. So it'll be like one model of the ship will leave with the other models. And then after they've launched and they're flying away, it'll go back to the big ship. And the same models will fly off again. And then it'll be back to the big ship.
Now's a good point
and the
to talk
same
about
models
that.
will go off again. And this goes on for like 5 minutes.
It's a good
5 or
point
10
to actually
minutes.
talk about the models.
And you can fast forward through it, really.
Yeah.
The models look all pretty cheap.
The models don't look great. I think it's mainly because of the lighting and the way they
start,
filmed it.
Well, the models look bad when they zoom in on them, like you do with
Yeah,
the
it looks bad.
spaceships. They don't look good.
The other thing is, too,
Spaceballs looks better.
the backdrop's terrible. Why the fuck do they have Christmas lights in the background?
Instead of
essentially?
like actual stars, they've just strung up some Christmas lights or something.
Do you want to know? Okay, here it is. If you want to do a backdrop to a space movie where you're in space doing space battles, okay, here it is. Black with some white dots every now and then.
Perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
You don't need giant planets and
There were light
lots of
bulbs.
multicolored light bulbs
They were like
everywhere.
multicolored. Like instead of it just being like star dots, there was like blue, red, blue,
and they were
blue,
big.
orange.
They were huge and
They were
distracting.
too big. That's why I know that those are actually colors out there that you can have like different colored stuff, but that's not my point. This movie sucked with the
So-
backdrop because it was clearly Christmas lights.
Here's the bit. Okay, here's the bit where I started to like just get. I wasn't sure why
And the models suck. The worst bits of space stuff. The space shit looks the worst because it looks
the
like
big space battle is just terrible. It goes on forever.
when
and
you
it
have a
looks
model,
awful.
when you have a model moving, it doesn't look like it's in space. What it looks like is someone is holding a model, then they move it further away, and they just move in a direct line.
They just do lots of that.
Everything moves in a 90-degree line.
So
angle,
eventually,
everything.
all the ships launch and they start attacking one by one because you can't
so
show more than
annoying,
one model
too.
at a
This is
time.
terrible.
This goes on for ages. Then eventually, the good ship starts firing
Pods.
torpedoes, and it turns out the torpedoes slam into the ship, and of course, the evil ship has these giant stained glass windows everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Like
they
any
go
good
through the
evil shit.
windows, and all the people start busting out, and there's a big battle inside the evil ship.
This goes on
I
for
was
about 10
waiting
minutes.
for Stella and the prince to burst out and fight, and for them to kill the evil guy. Like there was going to be like he was going to whip out his sword, the prince would have his sword, and they'd fight. Right?
Hey,
That
what
would
a
have
great
made
ending.
sense.
Yeah.
Instead, the battle goes on for ages, and the bad guys win.
So it's about 15 minutes of this.
Yeah.
We're
the-
not joking. They just launch,
and the whole
launch,
time
launch.
it'll go back to the emperor, and he's sitting on his big chair, and the prince and Stella are just standing next to him, just going, "The battle continues."
It's annoying because it's like
They don't get involved at all.
they don't get
The main
involved.
characters aren't involved in the final fight.
The repeating, because this is the thing too. The pods arriving, the ships leaving. It's just repeated again and again.
The same footage over and over again.
And it
There's
is
no
15
reason
minutes.
for it. It just drags on and
It's
on.
legitimately 15 minutes of this. And then
Eventually, all the
finally-
good guys are killed.
yeah,
apparently.
which is weird because I thought the king said that they were for sure gonna win this.
Maybe if him and his giant ship had helped in any way, but
Right.
apparently they can just watch. They can't actually do anything.
So then he out of nowhere says, "Well, there is one more plan." Oh, what's the plan? He says, Oh, the giant floating city. What giant? What?
Yeah, suddenly the evil guy's plan is to attack the giant space station. Then they obviously there was no communication between the people writing this film and whoever the actors, because they all call it different things. Like the bad guys are calling it the Space Citadel. It gets called the Capital City, or it's like, oh, the giant floating city. Or it's like the giant space station. They couldn't pick a single thing to call it. But so they realize the bad guys are going to attack that. So they send Stella to fly the city into the bad guys' fortress. So it gets evacuated and they fly it in the fortress, and that's it. That's the end of the film.
Yeah, I was just looking up to see if the book. I just realized the Starcrash book, the book that is, well, at least there's a book called Starcrash. That's actually 1994. So it can't be what the movie's based off. Maybe that came out afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know. But again, the whole her commandeering the spaceship and flying it into the bad guy's spaceship takes like another 10 minutes. And
Elle
nothing
does it
happens.
too. Elle does it
Oh
too.
yeah, Elle is with her for some
They
reason.
just bring back Elle. They do it, and that's the end of the movie. So honestly, guys, just finish your movies earlier, because before that, this movie would have been going for an A rating, because I thoroughly enjoyed
because
it.
up until the last quarter, it was stupid, but it was actually pretty fun. Like
they was throwing so much. Also, it looked like they put in they put in effort, and the outcome was terrible. That's what I love. Like, their spacesuits looked like they were wearing giant water containers on their heads. And
Yeah.
so they also have multiple different types of spacesuits. The uniforms of the good people is the Rocketeer uniform from the movie Rocketeer. It's it's not a soulless cash-in.
I think it is a soulless cash in. Oh,
I don't know.
it's a bad ripoff.
No. See, Santa with muscles was a soulless cash-in. You know, they don't put in any effort. With this one, it's a rip-off. They know they are. Yeah, I like it.
Seemed like the actors were trying. I don't know.
It was going for, because they just also
But
throw
the ending
so
just
many
gets
different
dragged
things.
out for so long when it gets to the
Yeah.
space battle. It just goes on and on. If you are going to watch it, fast forward.
But because it's like got so much for the first 3 quarters, and it's really interesting, and they just throw all the sci-fi tropes at you at once, which is
The
freaking
effects
awesome.
are laughably bad.
They
But,
are so
yeah,
bad.
I laughed at them.
Yeah,
they
me
were
too.
entertaining.
But this movie would have been getting an A for me in terms of like entertainment,
Watchability,
like
yeah.
watchability, good, bad. But because of the ending, I got to drop it to a B. You know, it's just because of that.
See, I would recommend Starcrash, but I'd say have your finger on the fast forward button at the end.
I gotta say though, Caroline Munro, I want to buy one of, like, you can get a shot. I wanted to see if there was any merchandise for Starcrash.
Yeah.
You can get like a picture of Caroline Munro and I think the robot, and it's signed by them. I gotta say, Caroline Munro, pretty good.
Yeah.
She's awesome. You know, great movie. So that's Starcrash. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would recommend it as a movie for someone to watch.
If you've got a fast forward, button, especially towards the end,
If you've got
feel
a
free
fast
to
forward
use it.
button, what do you
If
think
you
people
can-
are watching this on, like Betamax?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what it's showing on. Oh, we watched this on YouTube. By the
Oh
way.
yeah,
This
sorry.
is available on
You
YouTube.
can watch this all on YouTube, guys. Don't buy it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, watch it on YouTube. It's awesome. That's Starcrash. Thanks. Thanks for listening to the end of the reel. If you know anyone else who is a fan of good bad movies, share this podcast around to them. Sharing is the best way to help promote our podcast.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye bye.